Hey Warriors, and welcome to the latest episode of Spin Tea with Roxy. Today's episode is with the wonderful Dr. Gretchen Hawley, and it's all about the power of physiotherapy for MS. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Sit down, unwind, and join me for a cup of tea, as usual, and enjoy another episode of Spin Tea with Roxy. Hi Gretchen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you speaking to the MSs that are my audience, and I'm really sure they appreciate all the information you're going to give us. So I want to start with a little introduction of who you are and kind of what brought you towards physiotherapy.
Yeah, so I'm a physiotherapist. I've been one for just over 7 years or so. And for 5 of those years, I have been a multiple sclerosis certified specialist. And I kind of got into multiple sclerosis in a random way. Fortunately, I don't have any family members or friends with multiple sclerosis, but the company that I was working for at my first job as a physio was a company that had a sister program in a different state. And they had a multiple sclerosis program that was successful. So they wanted to start one at the place that I was working. And they pretty much just asked if anyone would be interested in running it. And I honestly did not know much about MS at that time. In PT school, you really don't learn a whole lot about MS. You know, the very, very, very basics. But I was always more interested in neurological physio and things that aren't necessarily caused from an injury or getting older, like things that are happening in the brain or in our body that we can't see. So I offered to run this program, and right away I realized why MS is nicknamed the snowflake disease, just because everyone truly is different. And even each person was different each day I saw them. And one of my favorite things about being a physio is brainstorming and figuring out different exercises based on how you're feeling that day and what your goals are. So I personally love working with this population for that reason. So I started this program. I then decided to become an MS specialist because I realized there were so many differences between what I was taught as an orthopedic, or what I nickname a regular PT, compared to an MS specific and MS certified physio. So I jumped all in. And I've continued to do continuing education courses and constantly learning what's new in research, because that's always changing too.
Okay, that's really interesting, because I didn't know there was a difference between like regular physio and a physio for an MSer. So that's interesting to know. Why do you think physio is important for someone with MS?
Physio is important for so many reasons, and it's important for different reasons based on where you're at with MS. If you were newly diagnosed, it's really important, no matter what your ability levels are, because it's really important to get baseline data. So during a first session, you will be tested on your strength, your balance, your walking, and you will actually perform specific tests that give you a number. So one of them is often fatigue related. Another one is walking related. And so you take a bunch of these tests and measures and numbers so that whether you come back in a couple of weeks or a couple of months or even several years, you redo the test and you can actually see, are you improving, are you regressing, or have you maintained since that first session, which can be really valuable information, because sometimes someone will feel like they are regressing or their disease is progressing, and we can redo these tests and we can confirm, yes, your walking is this much slower than the last time we did, or everything might show maintenance. You know, it shows that everything is good, but we clearly need to fine tune some things. So getting that first session is extremely valuable, not only for the clinician, but also for the client. So you can have that data on hand. And then after that first session is when you really jump into what exercises you should be doing based on your goals. I feel like everyone with MS should be doing different exercises because everyone has different goals and different ability levels. So you can really fine tune what that program is going to look like for you to help you with things like getting stronger, improving your balance, walking better, just general mobility, standing up and sitting down without flopping. So it can be helpful in so many things.
Okay, that's really interesting because for my journey, I've had MS technically since the age of 18, but actually only diagnosed at the age of 24. I've never been offered physiotherapy or at the start of my journey, even an assessment to how my mobility is. And as I've progressed, my left side of my body is really weak. I deal with a lot of foot drop. I have a lot of dragging of that leg. And even as I'm talking to you, I'm getting like these weird sensations going through my body. Now, is there still power in someone like me going to a physio appointment and starting even 8 years down the road?
Absolutely. Whether you are someone who has never had physio before, or even maybe you did, but it wasn't with an MS specialist, which happens all the time. People will come to me and they'll say, hey, just so you know, I don't think this is going to work. I've been to PT in the past and it didn't work for me. So this probably won't either, but I was told to come. So it's already starting off with an experience that didn't work for them before. So whether that's been your history or you've just never gone, going at any time is beneficial. Our brains are able to adapt throughout our entire life. So even if you didn't get PT as a newly diagnosed person with MS, even if it is down the road, whether that's a couple of years, 10 years, 20 years, it can still be beneficial because the exercises that you do are focused on rewiring your brain to make sure your brain can find a neural pathway to the muscle so that you can become stronger and improve mobility.
Oh, that's really good because I speak a lot about building new neural pathways, and I realize that a lot of MSs don't know that's possible. And I love shouting about it loud and proud, so they know that there's hope in creating better connection inside their body. If you, not depending, but maybe depending, if you were someone that was like bedbound with MS or bound to a wheelchair, is there exercises you can do?
Absolutely. And again, this might be because I am someone who loves brainstorming and finding a way for exercise to be for anyone with MS. But you can do exercises in bed. You can do exercises lying on your couch or sitting on your couch, sitting in general, or standing, laying on your side. You can do exercises in any position. And what I tell a lot of my clients is pick the version that's easiest for you. Because if it's easier, you can do more repetitions. And if you can do more repetitions, that's more opportunities for your brain to find a neural pathway that works. So I also will give my clients typically at least 2 different home exercise programs. One, I call their rock star program. So if they're having a day where they feel like a rock star, they wake up and you feel great. This is your program that you can do with these specific exercises. However, if you wake up and it's just not a good day for you, maybe you just don't even feel like moving at all, or it's more fatigue or more pain, then I give them a regular program. And this can be for the days that you're still in bed and you can do the exercises literally in bed or sitting on your couch. So there's ways to modify and adapt any exercise program for your ability level each day.
Oh, wow. Adapting for change is always the best thing. I was recently speaking to another physiotherapist that approached me, and they were talking about pelvic physio for MS, and I had never, ever heard about it. So I want to know, do you have an insight you could share?
Absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned that. In my online program, I have guest speakers each month where I bring in someone who is an expert in MS, or at least has extensively worked with people who have MS. And I bring them in to educate us on their expertise. And the one for last month was a pelvic floor physical therapist, because pelvic floor is a completely different realm. Physiotherapy school teaches you basically the basics of any area, any setting to work in. And anything beyond that to go into a specific area like MS or pelvic floor, there's extra certifications and specializations. So I always educate and suggest that people who are having pelvic floor challenges go to a pelvic floor PT. Or if you have MS, go to an MS PT. And if you're someone who has MS and you also have urinary or bowel issues, maybe also go to a pelvic floor PT, because it's so different. I've had the honor and benefit of working alongside another physio who was certified in urinary and bowel challenges. So I've seen some of what she does, but I am not certified for that. It's very different. And so finding someone who is specialized in what you need, even if that means you're working with 2 or 3 different physios or whatever setting that you're in, is so valuable. It could honestly be the difference of being the person that says, oh my gosh, this worked great for me, versus I've tried this before and it didn't work. It's just such a big difference.
Oh, wow. Because you keep talking about your wellness programs, and I was doing some research on you, and I came up with the Missing Link online wellness program, and I really want to know what that was.
Yeah, so that is something that I started about a little over 2 years ago, because I noticed that my clients who were coming to me in person at the physio clinic were constantly either canceling their sessions or no showing, and just meaning, not showing up for their appointments. And I would always call them and ask why, like, hey, you're missing your appointment. What's going on? And it was always a valid reason. Maybe it was a bad day for them. They were still in bed. They couldn't get out of bed. Or it was raining outside and it's not safe for them to be walking with their cane outside. Or they're just having a bad day. I personally felt like their reason for not coming was valid. However, if you don't come to the session, you can't improve. You're not going to continue working towards your goals. And it was happening enough where I finally felt like I need to do something. There's got to be a way that I can essentially be in their home with them, so that if they can't come to me, they can still do something. So that's when I came up with the Missing Link. And it's essentially a bunch of videos of me demonstrating and explaining symptom management strategies, but also MS-specific exercises for strengthening and balance and walking and flexibility. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I also bring in guest speakers who are experts in other areas of MS outside of physio, MS neurology, nutrition, yoga and meditation, pelvic floor physical therapy. So it's been a really great program in order to get this information to the people who are wanting to work on any of their goals and feeling more confident and participating more. That's the big thing, is once you get stronger, once you do improve your mobility, you can say yes to more opportunities. You can go out to dinner, whereas maybe before your fatigue was too high, or you didn't feel comfortable standing up from the chair at the restaurant because it maybe was too low, but now you're stronger. So just being able to have that confidence to go out and do more is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I've been there where you're like, do I go out for a meal? Oh, but my bowels, I need to go to the toilet every 5 minutes. It's a bit embarrassing. Yoga helped definitely for me for my pelvic floor issues, but I like the fact that you have this whole round package, so that you've not missed one point. And that's like a lifestyle change more than it's even a physiotherapy kind of journey. I like that. And also worldwide. So I'm taking it no matter where in the world you are, you can join. Because we all have, I've met neurologists online, but they're all in America, that I just wish was my neurologist. And I know people see physiotherapists, they see improvements in other MSs, and they kind of go, I wish I could get that physiotherapist, I wish I could have that neurologist, I wish I could get that doctor. And you've kind of made it easy, which is really commendable, because people see you.
Yeah, and it is tricky too, because on the physio side of things, I'm only licensed to treat clients who live in the states that I have a physical therapy license in. So I'm not able to treat someone in the UK or in other states. So therefore, with this online program, it's all pre-recorded, but it's the same exercises you get and same content I would share with you if you were seeing me in person. So it's just a way that I can help even more people, because that MS specialty for physios, unfortunately at this time, is very rare. There are not many people, not many physios who are certified in multiple sclerosis. And it's just so different than even a neurophysio or an orthopedic or regular physio.
Okay. I never knew that. Like, my brain's just like taking all this information in and being like, wow, like I really need to go and reassess a few things myself and join this revolution. You also have another course though, which is called the Missing Link Game Changer course, Tools to Conquer Your MS. Is that slightly different to the Missing Link online wellness course?
It is. So the Missing Link is a monthly, semi-annual, or annual membership. So there's new videos added. There's usually between 3 and 4, sometimes 5 new videos added every single month. One is the guest speaker, one is Missing Link yoga, one is always a new exercise, and there's sometimes a live class as well. So there's new content added to every single month. Whereas the Game Changer is just a small mini course, not even a course. I think there's how many videos? 5 videos in there. And they are just educational, and it shares with you what neuroplasticity is, because as you know, neuroplasticity is the reason our brain can actually create new pathways. It's the reason that if you are having weakness right now, you actually can get stronger if you do the exercises in the right way. And so the second video is all about how to do the exercises in the right way, because there are specific ways you can make the exercises even more effective. And there's also a video on 2 bad habits that almost all of my clients were doing, and they didn't even realize it. But these 2 specific bad habits can actually result in hindering your benefits from your exercise. So I point out what those are and share with you what to do instead. So it's kind of an educational program to help you learn what you might learn in the Missing Link, or even if you have your own exercise program, but you just want to make sure you're doing it correctly, if you're following the guidelines in there, you'll have that guidance that you need.
No, that's great, because I do a lot of yoga from home. I don't really, obviously the pandemic has made it sure that we can't go outside for a bit, and I always do it. I absolutely love it, but I have no idea if I'm doing it right at all.
Right.
So it's nice to know that there's something that I can join and be like, well, maybe these are the things that maybe you're doing wrong, or maybe a different exercise is better. I don't know, but I'm glad that I have the option, because obviously I think movement is key. And I think movement in general, regardless of MS. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think movement, regardless if you have MS or not, is really, really important. And I kind of tell everyone, even my mum, who's absolutely fine, I keep going, no, stretch, move, keep your body moving. The more movement you have, the healthier you'll be and the younger you'll feel. So I'm kind of like appreciating this conversation so much.
Yes. Yeah. And it's important too, because I mean, I'll say 99% of my Missing Link members, their biggest goal is to improve their walking or improve their balance. It's some type of mobility that they want to improve. And in the course, there's 2 different programs that you can follow. One is focused on strengthening and stretching, and one is focused on balance and walking. So everyone always wants to jump to the balance and walking one because that's what their goal is. But it's important to understand that if the reason your walking isn't great is because you don't have enough strength, or because your muscles are too tight, or because your balance isn't great, then you shouldn't be practicing walking exercises right away. We got to focus on those reasons that are preventing you from having better walking. So I suggest that almost everyone in my program, and we actually hop on a one-on-one call where I'll talk to them, figure out their goals, figure out where the best place for them to start would be. But I often suggest that everyone starts with the strengthening and stretching, because almost every goal that people have, whether it's stair climbing easier, not struggling as much getting into and out of a car, or getting into and out of bed, walking, a lot of that stems from weakness. And so if you just jump to practicing the exercise or jump to practicing the walking, you're kind of missing the boat. The goal is to strengthen the specific muscles that are weak and causing your limitation. So there's a couple of different ways to go, and I help everyone figure out on our one-on-one call which to do, but it's important to have that guidance.
Okay. No, I respect that, because for me, I feel like it is a lot of weakness. Like my right side's so strong. I do a downward dog, forward fold, try and put my leg up perfect. Other side is just like, is it the same body on both sides? So I know that building muscles and building strength in your body when you have MS, and sometimes it can feel difficult at the start, but if you can keep that kind of momentum going, the results are just amazing. I've seen so many people go through it, and I've seen people come out of your course as well. If I put like a little hashtag in, and I've been like, okay, I can see improvement, and that's like very promising, because a lot of us don't know what to ask on our appointments, and we don't know what to say. And just having people like you advocating for MSs and showing them that there's these things that they can use and tools to improve their life is actually life changing for a lot of people.
Sorry for the dogs. Can you hear them barking?
I heard like a low grumble, and I was like,
oh, okay.
I don't know what that is.
My 2 dogs started barking. But yeah, and I think it's just exactly what you mentioned. That education piece is so important. One thing that I loved that our most recent guest speaker did was she shared with us definitions of various things that can be pelvic floor related issues. And I love that, because now my members, if they have urinary or bowel issues, they can go to their doctor now, and instead of just saying, I have pelvic floor issues, they can say, I believe I have urinary stress incontinence. And that sounds so different. That gives you the power to say, hey, this is specifically the type of incontinence I feel I have. And sometimes what that does is doctors hear that and they will immediately have an answer, or they'll immediately think of a strategy to help you. Whereas if you just say pelvic floor, it's so broad that they might dismiss it. So sometimes knowing the right words to say and having that background education is so important. It gives you that power back, and often a situation where you feel powerless.
You're empowering people for self-advocacy, because I've had bladder issues, and it wasn't really an investigation, it was like hand me tablets. Not that I'm against tablets, but I also feel like there has to be at least a combination of therapy. It can't just be the tablets. Like, how am I going to improve if it's just a drug? Like, there has to be something else I can do. So I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate like watching your videos. It's going to give someone a bit more specific avenue to be like, hey, I feel like this, but I think it's this, let's explore it. Because then they just think that you know more. And I had to learn that on my journey. Like, I was going to hospital appointments not knowing anything, and my results were so one way. But as soon as I started reading and researching and learning so much about MS, I was walking in there and I had almost become my own doctor. So the doctor's response to me was like, now we're on the same level, because he understands that I know what I'm saying. So therefore, because I'm saying specifically, like you said, what you want care for, the results you're getting are way better. And that's just great. Thank you for your time. I appreciate this. Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm all over the internet and social media. I do have an Instagram account that's Dr.Gretchen. I also have Facebook, that's Dr. Gretchen MS Specialist. And I have a YouTube, which I love YouTube because you can share full videos, whereas you're somewhat limited on Instagram and Facebook. So my YouTube handle, where you'll find videos and symptom management tips and strategies, that is Dr. Gretchen Hawley.
Oh, thank you. Everyone listen, I'm gonna put these links in the bio when I post this, so that you can just click and get straight to Gretchen, because I think it's very much worthwhile. I appreciate her. I think she changed lives, and I hope that she changes yours too. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
No, it's been my pleasure, honestly, and I think everyone's going to love you, as already I do, and I know so many other people do. So thank you so much. Hey warriors, I hope that you just enjoyed that episode with Dr. Gretchen Hawley. Like I said before, I will put all the information below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you never missed another episode of Spilling Tea with Roxy, because we love to spill the tea and to create change and beauty within the MS community. Love and light, and until next time, bye!